All right, let's do some next team stuff. We have a lot here. I don't know if we're going to have time to get to all of it, but we'll do what we can. Aaron Rodgers, I think this was a low-key interesting thing that happened on Super Bowl Sunday. Jake Glazer says he's done with the Jets. I also saw there was reporting, I think Diana Rossini said Aaron Glenn told him if you're going to come back, you can't do McAfee anymore, which is awesome.
So this is why I kind of go back to like the Jets thing. It's like I do like the sense of conviction they're working with finally.
And it's also an easy win because
yeah. How about Aaron Glenn like having it out with reporters? Basically on day one on the
which
job.
Again, if it doesn't go well in New York, you're gonna look like a doofus. But I like that. It's a great spot for him to like kind of pretend to be in charge of everything.
Yeah,
knowing that it probably isn't gonna make a difference because the guy's gonna be gone no matter what. Anyway, so I think he's most likely gonna get cut. They can give him the post June 1 designation. If they try to trade him, I think it's going to cost them, $49 million in a cap hit if they do it before June 1. I think that was Rich Cimini had that. So, according to Bet Online, the Pittsburgh Steelers are the favorite at even money, followed by the Niners 3-1, Saints 5-1, Raiders 7-1, Seahawks 10-1, Browns, as I mentioned earlier, 10-1. Do you have a lean here? What do you think?
There are no good real destinations for him, huh? Like the Steelers make too much sense.
Yeah, so the Steelers are the favorite for a reason, right? Like I was looking into this. Arthur Smith is the offensive coordinator there. That feels like there's at least some familiarity because I think when he took over for LaFleur in Tennessee, when Tennessee left for Green Bay, he was running the same offense. So there's probably some similarities. Like I think it's just easier to onboard him there. I think the guy, somebody like George Pickens feels like the type of receiver that Rodgers would fall in love with. It's like I can just throw this thing deep and he's going to run down there and try to catch it. So I think he can play in the cold. I think it's the most likely thing. It's kind of sad for both sides if we're being honest.
Yeah.
But like the most interesting one to me is San Francisco at 3-1. I just don't know what you do with Brock Purdy there. But like him going home to end his career, he can bring Devontae Adams with him. They're the North Cal guys or whatever, Fresno, all that makes a little bit of sense.
It is kind of sad the Steelers one because it's like you kind of just hanging on to something that maybe doesn't exist anymore.
And like getting your head kicked in by the Bengals and the Ravens probably.
You think Devontae Adams could go to Pittsburgh as well?
I just don't. No. We can maybe skip to that one after this, but I don't. By the way, I do want to get Deshaun Elliott, safety for the Steelers. Since deleted a comment on an IG post said leave his ass at the retirement home when it comes to Rodgers. So I don't know if there's a ton of buy in there. I also like Tennessee. I think that is an idea that would be interesting. If Tennessee is like, we don't want to take a quarterback number 1 overall, let's just figure this out for 1 year. I can see that happening too.
Yeah.
Devontae Adams. We'll go to him. We'll skip over one of the ones we're going to do. Buffalo, 3-1 favorite, followed by Pittsburgh at 4-1, the Chargers at 5-1, Washington 6-1, and the Niners at 7-1, Patriots 12-1 at Bet Online. I don't know. Do you have I think he's going to the West Coast. That's my
Chargers feels like
Chargers is what I got, and I actually
really
might
good pick.
Make if I have any money left in this account, 5-1 feels like it's a good young quarterback, coach that he probably respects. I think he's a West Coast guy. LA's sick.
Yeah.
Like, why not?
But this is the type of move, though, that when we say like the odds shifts more than they probably should based on a high-profile move, like this is one that I could see.
Yeah, but I think this is a good
impact.
move for them where they are on their progression.
Sure, no,
right?
no, I think it makes sense. I'd just be hesitant to all of a sudden like the hype could get to a level with the Chargers where it doesn't belong.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Which that's definitely going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, just because you got famous quarterback, famous head coach. That's a recipe for hype. Let's see. Is there anybody else here that Buffalo 3-1 feels like an interesting idea, but I don't know. Yeah, the more I look at the Chargers or the Niners, again, West Coast feels like an interesting one. Vegas 18-1. If you're looking for a value pick, going back there, maybe with Rodgers, but I also don't see Rodgers playing in Chip Kelly's system either. So that's tough. We'll go back. Cooper Kupp. Feels like he is. Well, actually, he is going to be traded. The other thing with Devontae Adams is he would have to be traded probably. So that's another wrinkle. But Cooper Kupp, the Chargers 3-1. That feels almost too obvious. Buffalo 4-1, Pittsburgh 5-1, Denver 6-1, and Vegas 7-1. Shout out Ethan for playing with the graphics. We threw him a curveball there. I think he goes to Buffalo.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think he feels like a Buffalo guy. I don't know what that means necessarily, especially for a dude who's been playing in sunny LA for his entire career. That feels like it fits the mold of what the Bills have tried to build recently. I don't know if he's cashed or not. That's kind of an issue.
Yeah.
But I do kind of like that receiver room if they can make that work, assuming Amari Cooper isn't cashed either. This is a short window type of move for a team like the Bills, but I think that makes sense.
Yeah. I think I had Buffalo jotted down. I don't know, maybe the Broncos. I could talk myself into
That's
that
fair
maybe.
too, yeah.
But this goes back to like what we were saying about Buffalo. Like this is the type of offseason move that they need to make. Like I don't know if you want to jump ahead, but like Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
For me, Buffalo. Like go out and make that move. Get yourself a game record on the defensive side.
I just would Cleveland. I guess Cleveland doesn't care at this point. Yeah,
they've got
just trade
so much going on.
Yeah, I think Myles Garrett makes more sense for Washington. Like I think there's a real possibility in my mind if they can make the money work. They are like, we have a quarterback who is awesome and cheap. Let's spend money and spend draft capital to make ourselves better because we got that close already.
Yeah,
and they get Myles Garrett and Deebo Samuel. They're actually the favorites to get Deebo Samuel too at 3-1. The Chargers, the Panthers, the Broncos are in there. I think Washington, like the more I think about it, Washington ends up with both Deebo and Myles Garrett, and it's like, all right, this thing is ready to roll.
The other one for Myles Garrett was Detroit.
Interesting. It's just going to cost
like
so much to get him that I don't know if
they just feel like a team though with their level of depth that I'm like, you could take a swing at getting that guy that puts you over the top. Yeah,
I guess it is. They almost went to the NFC Championship with nobody on there.
But it's like the one clear weakness is just not having somebody else on the other side.
Him and Aiden Hutchinson would be
like
pretty awesome.
That feels like an immediate fix, I would say.
And then you got anything on T. Higgins? Do you think he ends up here?
So he's the one where I could see the Commanders making a play there.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
He's going to make so much money.
So much money. But he's, 26? 27? Like, he fits every team's competitive window, whether it's you're going all in next year or you're building out for the next 5 years. Like, it's like we've seen with, like, I don't want to compare the two of them, but, like, Juan Soto, how he got so much money largely because of he hit free agency at 25, 26. Right. I just feel like that's where we're kind of at with T. Higgins as well.
That's fair.
You're getting a long runway with him.
The more I'm looking at like Denver 3-1 actually does kind of make sense if they've got I'm guessing they have the cap room if they're the favorite. I don't know.
I think the Patriots are going to push all of their chips in. I just don't know if he would want to come here.
Which just doesn't feel like the move to make. They need to do something, I guess, to make that receiver room better. But does T. Higgins change anything about their 2025 season in a dramatic way? Maybe. It just feels like T. Higgins is like a next year move, not T. Higgins himself.
But I think it's like maybe it doesn't necessarily move the needle all that much this year.
But still next year,
next year, 27. As opposed, so I just don't know if he would want to come to New England.
Sure.
So.